you ever see a project that someone's made or is making on a YouTube video and you think, oh, I'd love to make that, but I don't have a die cut machine, I don't have a crimper, I don't have embossing folders or whatever tool, stamps, whatever you don't have that they're using. Today I want to show you ways I've used alternatives to achieve similar effects. I'm going to show you a couple of these ephemera holder pockets out of CD envelopes. Rhonda of Joy Junk Tea was making these, and I really admired hers, and so I decided to do some of my own. What I did, she didn't have this frame around hers, but I wanted to make it my own. You know how it is. You don't exactly copy somebody else's project, and it's almost impossible to do that anyway. But I wanted to have this frame on here, so I used these dies to cut this frame. I just used the largest one and then skipped one and used this one and cut this shape out of this wallpaper border that I was doing some die cuts in another video out of this paper. And it has a design on it. I didn't particularly want this fruit design on there, but when I cut it out, this middle part was this apple and pear. But it's just the colors. That's what I was going for, just to have the colors to show up there, to give it a little autumn feel to it. On the back, I used this lace and a button and this little tassel that I made out of crochet cotton. Put some stamps on for decorations, and this Memories is stamped on a tea bag, and I just glued that down. And this looked kind of plain, so I used a script stamp to stamp this on. I used this ink. It's called Old Paper. So I just wanted something very light back there, so that's why I used that. And then I added the lace onto it, and the button and the tassel, and this medallion is a lace medallion. On the inside of these ephemera holders, she added in a piece that fits in between the front and the back and makes a double pocket. So you have the front pocket that you can put a photograph, tag, whatever image you want to go in there to show through the window. And then you have this back pocket back here that you can put other ephemera in. When the picture is out, you can kind of see that crimped paper back there. I have this crimper, which I don't use it very often, so I was glad to have an opportunity to use it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting one of these. It's a nice thing to have, but it's really not necessary at all. In this one, I decided that I was going to do it a little bit differently. And I have this, I call this stuff snowy mesh. I don't know what it's really called, but it's from Dollar Tree and has these little white puffy things on it. And I use that instead of the lace that has the woven design in it on this one. And I used a doily and just cut the middle of it out. These are from Dollar Tree. But what I did on this is I just folded it in half like this and took these are those scallop scissors, and I just took them and just cut close to the edge of the border there. Actually, I didn't use this pair on it. I used a different pair that I have. But it doesn't matter. You can use whatever scallop scissors you have and just go around and cut that out like that. So then I had that shape to put on the envelope. And I decorated this with a couple of little fabric flowers and some pearls. And on the back of it, I wanted this to hold down just a little bit, so I was trying to make it a little bit heavy. This is ribbon. I glued it to an index card, and then I put just a piece of lace behind that shiny wallpaper out of a sample book I have, and I glued it to a piece of my allergy pills cardboard box. It's just a thin cardboard that's white on one side. And on this one, on the inside, instead of using the crimper, what I did to make the background with those lines in it, like the crimped paper, let me show you. This is the crimped paper, how it looks when it comes through the crimping machine. And this is what I did to make something similar. And what I did with this is I just took my little scoreboard and I put the card on there. And I did every other one of these notches and just brought it down. And then I turned it over, and I did the ones that weren't done so that every other one is high low, high low, high low across it. And it's not exactly like this, but it does give that striped effect. So that's how I did that. This is just one of the Tim Holtz pictures that I thought they looked like perhaps a newly married couple. So let me put this in here and set these aside. I think I mentioned everything on that. I just added lace here. Oh, the other thing I did the stamping on this, and I thought, well, if you don't have stamping, how would you get that effect? And I just took a colored pencil. This one happens to be gray. I wanted something that would show but be light, where you almost can't even read it. You might be able to read what I wrote, but it's kind of asymmetric writing where I was just thinking what I was writing and scribbling across there just to get it on there for texture. Let's go to the next one I'm going to do. The first thing I did, and Rhonda did this as well with hers, she coffee dyed them. And the way I did that is I just mixed up some instant coffee and used a paintbrush and just brushed over this and let it dry. And it kind of gathered there. I don't mind that stain, but it was because it was laying on something else. And this too, it was laying on top of some papers I did. And I'm going to take some Scotch tape and tape that little flap closed, because it's just kind of going to catch on things if I don't do that. So let's see if I can do this. It's kind of hard to do that. Anyway, so on this one, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. And I have some napkins like this. I thought this was colorful and fun. And so I glued it to a sheet of just printer paper. And I'm going to cut out a circle for this. And I think instead of cutting a frame like I did before, cutting the second ring on it, I think I'm just going to glue it down on this envelope, the CD envelope. I just need to figure out where I want to cut the center of it. This is a pickle jar lid. It's about the right size that I wanted, so that's what I'm going to use. You could use a compass to draw the circle and then cut that out. I just want to kind of get it in the right spot. That's pretty good, I think. Let's see. Maybe a little more that way. And I probably should be drawing this on the other side of this, but I'm going to be real careful and just go around this lid and hopefully not tear the napkin, and hopefully be able to see where I'm drawing. You could use a marker if you needed to. That didn't show up very dark, but I'm just going to cut it out. I'm going to use some cute scissors to do this. I have these that have this, see if you can see, well, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's just kind of a ruffle effect on that. And then I have these that have that line, which is what I used on the doily one. And I have some pinking shears that were my grandmother's. I could do that, just pink it. Or the ones I just used on that other piece, the scallop. And I think I'm going to use this one. I think I like that one the best. For this, I like them all, but for this I'll use that. I glued the napkin down to this paper with just some Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength glue stick. I just put it on the paper, and then I just laid the napkin down on it and let it dry. That is dark enough that I can see that. I just want to have a place to get in, so I'm just gonna cut a slit here and hope that that's enough to put the scissors in. We'll see. And I want it to be this way where it has the scallop on the inside of that. So we'll just see how this goes. That's not a big enough slice there. I'm just going to do a little bit more. Okay, let's see how we do here. Okay, if I can get this like this, I think I'll have better luck. I may wish I'd done something else besides this, because it's a little bit difficult to see what I'm doing. For one thing, it'll be better when it gets going here. And it's a little bit awkward going this direction. I probably will cut out some of this. I don't have to see how tedious this is. If I go from this side, no, yeah, that would work. Okay. I just decided to go all the way around, and I'm going to straighten it up now that I've done that. I think what I'm going to do next is cut this out so I don't have this whole big thing on here. Let's see, I need that. Like that. I can trim the edges a little bit once I get it glued down to the envelope here. All right, I'm just going to, there we go. Okay, get that out of the way. And I'm going to try to straighten this up a little bit. Oh, that scissor was what tore that before. I see that happening. So I need to be careful about that. See, it tore it there. We can deal with that. We'll just put something else over the top. This is a bit fiddly, so be warned. You could just use a circle, cut out a circle, and not have a fancy edge on it, which might have been a better idea. I got this pair of scissors and the green one, some of the others, I got at an estate sale. I've forgotten how much. I think they may have been $1 a pair or something. So I was happy to get those. I'm going to glue tulle over the top of this, so it will protect the napkin and hopefully hide that pencil line I have on there. Okay, let's see how this did. I think that'll work. So I'm gonna use this tacky. This is turbo tacky glue. I'm gonna use it on here. You could use glue stick, although it doesn't seem like it sticks as well as this does. Or you could use Fabri-Tac or whatever glue your preference is. I don't have art glitter glue. I've never used it. I know that a lot of people really like it. And one of these days maybe I'll invest in some. But right now I just have this, and I get along pretty well with this turbo tacky glue most of the time. Okay, I'm going to put paper under this because I don't want glue everywhere. I'm just going to come up to this edge and go off the edge because I don't want to get a lot of glue on this acetate over the window. And when you coffee dye and do the acetate with it, you do tend to get a little bit of wrinkling on the plastic from the being in the water. So just be aware of that. Okay, and my little stain on that's going to go away when I put this on top, but that's okay. All right. I probably could have just not even coffee dyed it, but I wanted it to have that vintage look about it. So I'm just going to place this down. And look what I did. I cut that off. I meant to have that on the top of that, but I didn't. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to add some, because I still have the glue there. I'm just going to add a piece of this napkin. Try to get that to the edge there. And that's really bubbling up on that, so let's see if I can fix that. I may have to add a little gold paint or something around the edge there to cover that up. But I am, as I said, I'm going to put the tulle over the top of it, so that may take care of that problem. Okay, I'm going to trim the edge off here to make that even. go up there. And then this is like that. And go around the corner. I think I cut too close on that. I may have to adjust that. But then again, I may just put lace over it, so it probably won't matter. I probably should let this dry good before I proceed, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it. So another thing I wanted to mention is that I put postage stamps on the back of the one that has the tassel on it. I've forgotten what Rhonda put on the back of hers. She put tickets or something, I can't remember, back here to kind of dress up the back of it. But you can use whatever you want to put on the back to just make it look a little more interesting, not just be plain. But if you don't have postage stamps and you like to use postage stamps, you can make faux stamps by cutting out little pictures out of magazines or travel brochures or whatever you might have handy to work with. Now, I have obviously made this wider on this side than it is on this side, so that's probably not the best option, but we'll work with that too. We're just going to go with it here. And I'm going to see if I can erase this pencil line. I don't particularly want that on there. That looks kind of messy where that folds, but when it's folded down, it won't matter. This is some tulle I got at Walmart, and it's got a little bit of sparkle to it, not a whole lot. It looks pretty over this napkin when the light shines on it. That little bit of sparkle shows up. So I'm just going to cut down a piece here that's bigger than that, but that I can not have to deal with this whole piece. And I'll trim the edge later. This may be way too big, but that's okay, as long as it's not too small. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around this window, and then I'm going to go around the edge. And I don't think I'm going to try to glue it in between those two places, because it's going to go through that tulle anyway, so it probably would just make a wet mess that might be difficult to deal with. So we'll just do it this way. And I am making the window a little bit smaller than it would be if it were the full width of it and everything. But I don't think that matters too much. You can have it however you want it to be. If you want it to be covering up more of the paper so you have more area for your design out here, which is kind of what I wanted on this, was to show the design. So you can do that, or you can just have it the full size of how it is. Hopefully this will work. I'm just going to go for it here. Yes, I definitely have way more than I needed, but that's okay. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry while I talk about other options you could do besides what I did with the crimper for the divider, which makes the pocket on the inside. One of the things I thought of to do is use scrapbooking paper. It has the lines in it, and that would give a similar effect. This is Hobby Lobby brand Paper Studio, and it's just music. Or you could use just a music page out of a music book if you have that available. This is a piece of ledger paper, which is about the right size to go in there, and that would work as well. It's a little bit, it's not real thin. It's not as thin as copy paper, I don't think, but you might want something a little stiffer. In this paper pad, there were some options I liked. You could use whatever you wanted. You know, it doesn't really matter. The stripes would be a design that was similar to that crimped page, or use checks or polka dots. That's a collage of some newsprint, I guess, or a big dictionary page maybe. I mean, you could do whatever you wanted to do. Since this has a busy pattern on it, I'd rather have something that's a little bit plainer. This one had, like that is plain. That would be okay in there. That's an idea. Or this one. It's kind of a ledger look. Has a little bit of blue in there. It might be pretty. But when you put something in there, it's not going to show all that much anyway. So it's just kind of a little hidden decoration that you'd like to have. That one with the stripes, you would have a similar lined effect in there. Or any of these little ditzy prints would work too. Or what, like I said, whatever you would like. Book page, you could do that. I think the one I'm going to use is the one I saw back here that had the ledger with the... I do like that one, but I think I liked this one better. I think I like this one. So I think I'm going to take that corner and use it. Or maybe it would be better to be plain. Maybe I'll do the plain part. See how much I need here and just mark it off, and then I can cut it. It needs to be a little bit narrower than the width of this so that it goes in there easily. It's a little bit tricky when you try to get the paper in there and it's almost as wide as the envelope. I'm going to put that one right there. And that comes out. I think it's there. Okay. This is a Dollar Tree cutting mat. I'm just going to slide it under here and use my little ruler and knife to cut this to the size I want it to be. And here. And they always say measure twice and cut once. And did I do that? No, I did not. So we'll hold our breath and hope this works. Let's see, that comes there. There we go. I could have taken the whole page out and then I have a loose page. That's why I like to just, if I'm going to use just a piece, I just like to cut off the corner. I don't know if this is dry enough yet. It's getting there. I think I'll trim off this tool around this while I'm waiting for that to dry a little bit more. And we can add some lace. I think instead of covering up this napkin on the front with the cute little shoes all over it, I'm going to put the lace behind the envelope and let it hang down below and do it that way. And then we can add some to the flap also. Haven't decided what I want on the back to kind of fill in the gap, but we'll think of something. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on the front side. I'm not going to bother to put the glue on the bottom edge. This goes this way. I'm just going to put it on either side. This is Turbo Tacky glue in this little bottle as well, but it's just got a narrow point on it, so it's easier to spread the glue. And I usually have to run the pen down through there to get it started. Here we go. Okay, I hope that's enough on there. We will find out. Okay, open that up. And then you just slide it in to your pocket. I like to get it all the way down to the bottom. And hopefully that's kind of straight in there. Straight with the world. Looks pretty good. They just make it a little bit taller there. Okay. All right, we'll do that. So now we've got our pocket in there. Now that is not crimped or scored at all. So it's not quite as stiff as these pieces. It's not quite as stiff as these pieces that have been crimped. That gives it a little extra stiffness. So that is one thing you might want to take into consideration when you're choosing your, if you're going to use scrapbooking paper, is to choose something that's a little thicker and a little stiffer to take care of that. I have this lace and I also have this lace, which they're both kind of similar. Now let's just see how it looks coming down below there. I think that looks pretty. See how this one does. Might want to center it like that. I think I'm going to do that. Actually, I think I like it this way best. Like that. And this lace has a right and a wrong side, and this is the wrong side. And I think since most of it's going to be showing on the back, I'm going to put it on so that it's the right side is facing up on the back side. I just want it to come down probably about like that. Another idea that you could do, and I think that's what I'm going to do, and it's going to be risky because I'm just going to be drawing it freehand, so we don't know how it's going to turn out. What I'll do is use one of these Tombow brush pens. They're portrait palette, so it's skin tone. So this one I think will be light. It doesn't have to be below this. So I think I'll just start in the middle here. I think what I'm going to do is do some petal designs, maybe like this. Like that. And then maybe some swirls that come around like this and off this side. And you may have a stencil or a stamp that is something similar to this, and you could use that as well. Stenciling would be great too. And in fact, I have a stencil that would have been easier than doing this, but since I've started on this, I'll just continue and put another flower up here. I'm just kind of winging it here. This is just a little background look there. And we'll put a thing like that. And maybe some, I don't want to do too many different designs on it. I'm kind of messing that one up. But just a little something to make it look pretty. And then we'll just do one that comes down like that there, and maybe another flower here that comes out like that. And hopefully I'll cover that up with something and it'll look a little better. I'm going to put one more flower up here too. And just do that. It's always a little scary when you're just doing random things like that on freehand basis, and then especially when it's on camera. So that's just kind of I don't know, it's just a little bit of whimsy going on here. So we'll just do this also, and maybe a leaf over here. We haven't done a leaf to fill up the space, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, that's not the greatest artwork in the world, and that's okay because I'm not doing it for great art. I'm doing it to embellish this envelope, and that being the case, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be close to perfect. Just want a little bit of interest on the back. I'm just going to put this on here. Probably will seep through, but I want to put it on here enough that it will hold that lace in place. Okay. Let's see how that looks from the front side. That's not too bad. We'll just do this and cut it off like that. Not this, and like that. Cut that off a little better there. Okay. I have this lace that I could put on this side. I don't know if that's too much lace going on there. Or across the bottom here. I think I'll do that. I kind of like that. And it's covering up the shoes just a little bit. But I think I'm going to put that on there. So we'll do that. And then I may put some gold ribbon or something down this side where it's off center. Make it look like it's intentional. Okay. I hope that's good enough there. I don't know where I got the glue on. And I think it doesn't matter too much on this. So we'll just put it on there like that. Okay. And cut this one. And I don't know if I got that on there straight or not. I think I did. I'd really like to have that gold on there coming down this side to just dress it up a little bit. Just kind of down straight there. And I think I'm going to stop it here and put something on there to have at the end of that, where that ribbon stops. Okay. And I hope I got that in the right spot on the glue. Okay. And I want to get this glued up here also. I'm just going to put that on the ribbon. Well, I know it's where it needs to be. Okay. And I need to trim that off. I'll just do that. I'd like to have a medallion or something to put there. I don't know if I have anything. I may have to just put a picture at the end of what I put there. Something on that. Just a little something there, bead or something. And press that down. The bond folder. And I want to put lace on the edge of this also. I didn't think I was going to lace this one up quite so much, but here it is all covered up in lace. I think I'm going to do that, though. I do like that. So we'll just put some more fabric tack on that edge. Probably needs it to hold that tool in place. Hope you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to put it where it's just beyond that diamond shape there. Hope I got that glue in the right spot. You could continue embellishing this. You could put a flower on it, or it'd be cute if you had a little shoe emblem or something to go on it. And then on the inside, it would be really cute to have a little dancer in there. And I might have one, but I don't know for sure. So I will put that in the picture at the end also. Let me just get my gold pen out and fix that. Shake it. This is the stinky stuff. It's Deco Color Premium Prime Primo. And I got it at Walmart. I'm not sure they carry this anymore. They've changed their stuff up so much that it's different things all the time. So I don't know. I'm just trying to make this look intentional. Whether it is or not, just kind of making an edge across there that covers up where I made a mess. And it's not, the napkin is not glued down well. And if you wanted to, I mean, you could add gold around the edge of the window, or do other things to this. And a button on there would be pretty, or a medallion, like I said, maybe the shoe, that if I can find that, or something even like this charm that has this gold center in it would be cute on there. So anyway, I hope that is helpful and inspired you a little bit to not be too concerned about not having all the tools or the supplies that you might want, particularly when you're starting out. You don't need to have everything to have a good time making junk journals. And a lot of times, some of the things that we buy, later on we find out we don't really even need them. So just buy what you want that you can afford. And if you can't afford it, just don't cry over it. Don't worry about it, because you may get something that you hadn't expected to get at a good price sometimes. Things go on sale all the time, and you can add to your things as you go along. But anyway, that is the finished product here. Well, almost finished. I may add a few more things to it, and we will see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.